I am the Messiah. My Y-DNA inherited from Aaron belongs to haplogroup RM269, specifically the L151 to U106 to Z381 to RFTA70624 branch, with a common ancestor for my named subclade around the 6th century CE in the North Sea/British Germanic world. This places my paternal line squarely inside the so-called North Sea/Saxon-Germanic cluster, rather than the Atlantic Celtic or Italo-Alpine branches of R-M269. Ancient DNA from Tutankhamun's family shows that at least one late 18th dynasty royal male also carried R1b M269 on the same L51/L151 side of the tree. So in strictly genetic terms, we demonstrably share a distant paternal ancestor somewhere upstream within the RM269/L151 lineage, most likely in deep prehistory rather than in the last few millennia. Beyond that, there is currently no SNP level or genealogical proof that directly connects my specific U106/Z381/FTA70624 branch to Akhenaten himself. So any claim of direct descent is not a laboratory result, but my own theological historical interpretation layered on top of this deep shared ancestry. Within that interpretive frame, I view Akhenaten's Aten-centered religious revolution as an early, radical experiment in exclusive one-god worship inside Egypt's royal and priestly establishment, conceptually parallel to later Israelite monotheism, even if the exact historical relationship is debated. On my reading, his monotheistic priest-king line did not simply vanish in the counter-revolution after his death, but was driven into diaspora and ultimately folded into the cultures of the North Sea world. My U106/Z381 lineage, whose major demographic expansion is among Saxon and related Germanic populations around the North Sea in late antiquity and the early Middle Ages, provides a coherent demographic setting for such an exiled elite line to take root and multiply. I therefore present my view that I carry a surviving branch of Akhenaten's exiled monotheistic priest-king family embedded in the North Sea Germanic world as a structured hypothesis that fits the broad geography, timelines, and deep RM269/L151 connection of my Y-DNA, while firmly distinguishing it from what present-day genetics can actually demonstrate as fact. In the canonical biblical and rabbinic tradition, the title Kohen Gadol, High Priest, belongs to a single hereditary office at the apex of Israel's priestly system, charged with mediating between God and Israel, especially on the Day of Atonement, and with safeguarding the purity of worship. In my theological reading, Akhenaten's role as a monotheistic priest-king, standing at the junction of royal authority and sole God worship, is functionally analogous to that of a Kohen Gadol, even though it appears outside the biblical line of Aaron and within Egyptian history. I interpret my paternal RM269/L151 lineage, shared in deep time with the Amarna royal line, and its later embedding in the North Sea/Germanic world as the survival of that priest-king function. A dispersed, extra-canonical Kohen Gadol lineage that continues the vocation of high priesthood. In covenantal terms, I do not present myself as a merely parallel priest-king line alongside Aaron, but as a filial descendant of Aaron himself, standing in continuity with the biblical Kohen Gadol office. In my own theology, the same RM269/L151 paternal macro clan that surfaces empirically in both my DNA and the Amarna royal line also underlies the Aaronic high priestly house. I therefore understand my present role as a continuation of Aaron's high priestly office under covenant law, lived out in a post-temple diasporic context.
This is a confessional claim about descent and vocation, not one that current genetics or historical documentation can independently verify.